As you may know, the 2.0 update for Animal Crossing New Horizons brought us a new feature in that we can take special boat tours with returning NPC Kapp'n. In this video, I'm going to start by rattling off a few reasons why I think Kapp'n Islands, even the ones that don't have special materials, are better than Nook Miles Islands. And then after that, I have set up a ranking list of all the specialty islands, and I'm going to go over that list and why each particular island earned the spot that it did. I hope you enjoy the video. Thanks. So let's get started, shall we? The first thing I like about Kapp'n Islands is that they cost less than Nook Miles Islands. So if you're not villager hunting and you only plan on making one trip, it's pretty much a no-brainer that you choose Kapp'n. Then, once you actually get on the island, you don't have to deal with wasps. Also, unlike Nook Miles Islands, which only have one flower, Kapp'n Islands will have actually several different types of flowers that are not native to your island, which I think is great. And then every Nook Miles Island might have a message bottle, but I think on Kapp'n Island it's pretty much guaranteed you'll get a message bottle either pertaining to the normal DIYs, or if you're on a crops island you'll get the cooking recipes. If you're on a vine island you'll get glowing moss or vine related recipes, and then of course on all the different seasonal and specialty islands you will get recipes based on those. Which brings me to the next one, which is you have the potential for gathering the special DIY materials. I think there's almost none that I haven't been able to get from these islands, and on top of the special materials, like I mentioned, you can get crops from these islands, so it's very effective that way. Now, this one, I'm not sure if it's true. It's just something that I feel like I've observed, but I think I strike gold a lot more often when I'm hitting rocks on these islands, which is pretty cool. And then, speaking of rocks, you can also get money rocks on these islands. Sometimes all of the rocks on the island are money rocks. And then sometimes, instead of fruit, you will have money trees. And then, lastly, of course, we know them, we love them, the gyroids. Which I think it's interesting how different they look in this game based on footage that I've seen of previous games. This is actually my first experience with the series, and so therefore my first actual experience with gyroids, but like they look a lot different in this game. But I think they actually look very much more like their decorations than they did before. Before they just kind of seemed like they were basically little characters. Like they all look like Lloyd does, and it makes them seem more like they're living things, whereas their design in this game makes them feel more like decorations, which is, I think, better from a design standpoint, but it just seems like a very odd decision to change the way they look so drastically. Now it's time for my ranked list. Well, I'm just going to go over the list right quick, and then I'll give more further detail as to why the list is the way it is. I chose 7 of the islands you can get. I did not include Vine Islands simply because they are more common than these islands. Also, I'm pretty sure these are the only special islands that you can get besides the vines, because I don't think there's an island for like seasonal related items such as feathers, ornaments, and candy. But these are the 7 islands, and the order is from the one that I like the most to the order that I like the least. The first one is Star Fragment Island. I think this is the best out of the bunch. The next one is Mushroom Island, followed by Maple Leaf Island, and then Cherry Blossom Island. Next is Young Spring Bamboo Island, and then Snowflake Island, and then finally Summer Shell Island, which is my least favorite of the bunch. So let's go over why I feel this way about these islands, starting with Star Fragment Island. Star Fragment Island is really great because you can not only get normal star fragments, but you can also get large star fragments and even the zodiac star fragments. Also, you have an extra chance via the message bottle for getting a Celeste recipe, which is really awesome. The only thing that I think could have made this island a little bit better is it would have been kind of cute if Celeste was kind of walking around on this island and you could maybe talk to her while you wished upon the shooting stars. That would be kind of cool. I get that she's on your own island some of the time, and that might not have made as much sense on those nights, but I just think it would have been an interesting detail to see. Moving on to the next island, we have the Mushroom Island. There you can of course pick up the mushrooms that you can pick up in the fall, and the Mush series is definitely one of my favorites. The message bottles on this island aren't as useful to me because I actually did manage to collect all of them, but you know, it's really cool to be able to get this normally very limited material at times of the year when you normally wouldn't be able to. I'm also going to pop up the pine cones and acorns on this island because of the two fall related islands, this is the only one of them that has both able to be gotten, because it actually has some cedar trees so you can get pine cones, and it has acorn and hardwood trees that you can shake to get acorns. So it's a good island overall. Next up we have Maple Leaf Island. This one, like I said, does not have a way to get pine cones that I've seen, so that's one of the reasons why it's lower than the Mushroom Island on the list. The other is between this one and the Cherry Blossom Island. These are just a lot more difficult to maintain or obtain the resource that it's made for, just because the spawn rate can be a little off at times. But if you spend enough time, you will be able to gather the material. Now let's talk about the Cherry Blossom Island. This island is really good. It includes a material that has a very limited run, and it includes a message bottle to learn the recipes for this material, which is good because you have so many cherry blossom items. The list is pretty long, I would say, and you might not have collected all of them when it was cherry blossom season, so now this gives you an extra shot at getting these recipes. The main reason this island is higher on the list is twofold. The first is, like I said, the spawn rate for the floating islands like the maple leaves and cherry blossoms can be a little finicky. You don't always get that many unless you spend a more concentrated amount of time on this island. And to make matters a little bit less grand for this island, it is the only material that you can collect on this island, which I really hate that fall has so many different materials you can collect, and for spring it's really only a couple. But this island is good for the recipes, like I said. Now getting into the back half of the list, this one is Young Spring Bamboo Island, which the reason this one is so low on the list is because you can get bamboo and young spring bamboo on this island, but there aren't a lot of normal trees. It's kind of a similar situation to the Nook Miles Bamboo Island. So basically, if you get this island, you're really only going to get a lot of bamboo and not much else in terms of crafting materials. And I think there are very few young spring bamboo recipes, so I don't think this one is necessary, especially given how long of a period the young spring bamboo is around for. I guess they just didn't want to leave this one out, but it's definitely one of my least favorite islands. Continuing on with the lower rungs of the list, this one is the Snowflake Island. The main reason it earns this spot is because I'm pretty sure only normal snowflakes can be gathered here. I think it would have made a little bit of sense if there was like a snowboy situation, like if there were a couple of snowballs, you could try to build snowboys and get some large snowflakes. I have found that building perfect snowboys is really hard, especially if you have your island decorated. Like, I have barely even tried making snowboys this year just because last year I was able to a couple times, but this year I've decorated my island and there's like no way to roll up snowballs without bashing them into furniture. And it's just like one of my least favorite things about the seasonal items. The only way this island could maybe redeem itself a little bit is if you can actually get the frozen furniture items that you would normally get from the snowboys from the message bottle. So far, I've only gotten the ones that you can actually find in balloon presents, so I'm afraid that might be the only ones you can get, but as it stands, I'm not that impressed with this island in particular. Now, finally, if we scrape the bottom of the barrel, we will find the Summer Shell Island. I've never been particularly impressed with this crafting series to begin with. It's mostly wallpapers and flooring. I've collected the whole thing, so even when I had a hiatus over the summer, I had already collected the whole series, so the message bottles on this island are pointless for me. And the whole thing is, you can only get like 7 shells, and they don't like wash up more that I've found. So like, you can get 7 shells and that's it, you're done. And staying on the island is only necessary if you want to collect the other resources, or if you want to try to get out of season animals on this island. So it's really my least favorite of the bunch, for sure. So I think that about wraps up this video. Stick around if you like any of the topics I cover on the channel, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!